everybody, my name is Nikolai J and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully it's back. As I always say, hopefully it's back. If not, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about Carole Baskins, aka Tiger King, which is still trending. It is almost May. I feel like this has been trending since March. Did it come out in March? I think so. I don't know. But I feel like it's been trending forever and it keeps gaining more and more momentum. I believe it's sitting at number 9 right now. Let me make sure I'm correct before I just get to spouting off numbers. Number 7 on Netflix right now. It is still popular. So popular that you know it got a TikTok dance, and I'm sure you're familiar with it. But anyway, let's talk about the actual Tiger King. Is it documentary? Is it technically a documentary? Let's see. The limited series Tiger King. Let's get into it. This documentary did have some funny moments in it. Like when it first starts, this guy, and he's so confident when he says it too. He's like, man, I've been doing this for 20 years and I've never been bit. And literally right after that, a tiger runs up and bites him. Now, no one getting hurt is funny, but that was funny. Like, it was hilarious because he was so cocky and confident about it. It wasn't like he was just like, I have a lot of faith in these tigers. That wasn't what he exuded. He exuded like, I've been doing this and I never got bit and this is what it is. And the tiger showed him like, you spoke too soon. I'm on that. Give me a second. And just, and he was like, they were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. People had to come out and help. It was very, very funny to me because I'm just like, see, that's why you can't be too quick. Remain humble. Always remain humble. Because you never know who's there to bring you back. Like, you don't know. And Joe Exotic was like petting the tiger and the tiger bit him. And he was like, and tried to act like it was nothing during an interview. The most hilarious thing ever. Like, we just saw you get bit by a tiger. You can't play that like it didn't hurt. And then we saw you move like it was painful. So at this point, you might as well just acknowledge it because it's, you know, and he's like, oh, you just nipped me a little bit. Man. So the series consists of 8 episodes, including the reunion. Now, I have to say off the bat, I personally did not feel like it needed 8 episodes. I just feel like 4 would have sufficed. 5 at the most, and that's including the reunion. I just kind of felt like towards the end, it was dragging in a little bit. In the beginning, it was just like really dragging it out. Like, when I tell you dragging, like, I was just thinking, this is really long to tell me stuff that I feel like could have been condensed. So I didn't think it needed to be an 8-part anything, but that's just my personal opinion. If you've seen it, let me know. Did you feel like it needed to be that long? I personally didn't, but that's just me. It's just me. So in Tiger King, of course, you know there's Joe Exotic, the main character, who was sentenced to 22 years in prison. You know Carole Baskins, his arch enemy. They go at it like, I can't even say like cats and dogs because there are some cats and dogs that get along. They go at it like nobody's business. They don't like each other. When I tell you don't like each other, they don't like each other. Joe more so than Carole, as far as hating. Like, Joe hated Carole, which is why he planned a murder for hire. But we'll get to that. Let's just, you know, make our way there. So it follows the life of Joe Exotic, who owned the GW Zoo. It has interviews from Carole Baskins, who was over big cat rescue with her husband. I don't remember his name. Was it Harold? Hank? One of those? I don't know. Anyway, her and her husband, nice man. They do big cat rescue, and they say they don't believe that animals should be in cages. And ironically enough, their animals are in cages. But I mean, I get where they're going. Because once you've had a cat for so long, they cannot be put back into the wild. They just can't. They've been domesticated too much. While they're still wild animals, it's just they wouldn't survive in the wild. Those cats I don't think can be put back out there, but ultimately, you know, they're still in the cage. And the place where they drink their water and eat their food, that little hole is so small. Where Carole Baskins is, I have to say, it is so small. Now here are some things that I discovered about the series. My personal opinion, every single one of them needs to be in jail. Yep, I said it. I said it because I can. They need to be in jail. First, let's talk about Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic hated Carole Baskins. Is that a crime? No. But the man, first off, he sent snakes in the mailbox to her. He made a video where he had a blow-up doll he pretended was her and shot it in the head. He said in numerous videos he's going to kill her. He talked about having her head in a jar. Like, when I tell you the man was crazy in regards to Carole Baskins, he did not like her. He did not like her. And And I get not liking somebody, but he didn't like her to the point that he wanted to kill her. But a lot of that stemmed from the fact that Carol Baskins had money, okay? Carol Baskins had money. So when Carol Baskins went after him legally, she did some major damage. And which she could. She had the money to keep that lawsuit going. He, however, did not. And so when they got into the tiff, which led to the lawsuit, she was really winning because she had money for days to keep giving to attorneys. He couldn't keep paying those fees. He did not have money like that. He really just didn't. And so when it came down to it, because he didn't have money, Carol was requesting assets. She wanted buses and just everything he had. The buses were important because that's what he was using to go around to malls and do the cub petting. He'd take cubs with them and let people take pictures of the mall and pet them and all that stuff. And Carol was against that. So when that stuff happened, you know, he got really upset because he already didn't like her. And so for her to do that, he was just P.O. But let me tell you, he is petty king. Like the assets she was supposed to get, he'd do things like shoot it up. So when he's like, you can have it with bullet holes in it, right? Okay. He took their logo, made it so that, because when you searched up Big Cat Rescue, her organization was the first thing that came up. Well, he did Big Cat Rescue as well. Practically the same logo, so that he also came up. And people thought that that was Carol. And she's like, that's not me. That's his stuff. And it was putting forth a negative message because they were like, well, we thought you didn't do this stuff. And she's like, that is not even my website. I gotta say, Joe was definitely petty king when it came to Carol. He had zero self-control. He was relentless. He was crazy. He was just like, I don't like her. And you want to talk about when somebody's like mad and they're like, I'm coming for you and I'm not going to stop. He was the definition of that. He went after Carol on everything. Like everything. He went after her on everything. The problem is though, like I mentioned earlier, he didn't have the money to follow through with that. And it got so bad to the point that I want to say put his parents' house up for collateral. So they lost, his parents unfortunately lost out on everything. I felt so bad for them, you know, when that happened. Now really quick, we're going to jump to Carol Baskins. Now I'm sure you've heard Carol Baskins fed her husband to the tigers. We all have, hence the TikTok song. I had not watched it prior to this song coming out, so I didn't know exactly what they were talking about or why they felt that way. But after watching the miniseries, everybody says she fed her husband to the tigers. If you watch it, you be the judge of it. I mean, I can definitely see why people feel that way. I mean, I really can, and I don't think anybody can truly watch that and not feel that way. But I'm not here to say whether or not she did or she didn't. I would just say, watch that episode at least. And yeah, you will be like, well, you know. When you see it, I mean, stuff like breaking in to take the wheels and her husband just disappearing right after he said he wanted to divorce her. I mean, just kind of, you watch it and you will see what I mean. It was kind of crazy. But anyway, moving on to her treatment of the tigers. So Carol Baskins does not pay her employees, something that just came to mind. Carol Baskins does not pay her employees. Well, they're technically volunteers. But the thing is, when you're caring for tigers, such big animals, that is a full-time job. Working 12 plus hours a day taking care of them. So while I can see what she means, I mean, if you volunteer, I guess that's your prerogative, but I feel like for people doing that kind of thing, I feel like it should be, you know, paid for. And people were saying, you know, she is out here claiming to do good. She's not even paying her employees. She could afford to pay them. She has a bunch of money, but she says she doesn't pay. That's not what she believes in. She says if you really want to take care of the tigers, then you'll do it for free. I don't know why she think that. Like, I don't know where that come from. Like, I can love kids, but I'm not babysitting kids for free. Unless they're my family members. Like, I'm just not gonna. Or unless you really need it for some reason and you have no other way type thing. Like, I wouldn't babysit kids for free. You have to come up out your pocket. Especially you a millionaire. Yeah, you have to come up strong on that one. But I can't lie, none of them really pay their employees. Joe Exotic, I think, is paying people $130 a week. And Doc Ant, he was paying people $100 a week. And here's the catch. They don't get weekends off. They work every day. I think they get like 6 hours of sleep. And they work full time every day. And that's what they get paid. And with Doc Ant, I know hires young girls. He makes them sleep in filth and disgust until he deems them worthy, which is generally after he sleeps with them, from what I understand. And then they live in a nicer life of luxury. It's honestly gross. Like, I'm like, what? So here's what I didn't like about Joe's zoo. While Joe typically hired people who were having a tough time getting a job, he paid them trash. He had them they would eat expired meat. The places they lived in had rats, roaches, all kinds of things. So anyway, those places, probably if an inspector came, I'm sure they would not be able or allowed to live in. Well, at first I was like, it's commendable. He's giving people jobs who can't get jobs, who are on drugs, who are just struggling. What he was paying them was not commendable. And having them eat expired meat, you know, that wasn't cool. I'm not saying you had to pay them a fortune, but be reasonable in what you're paying them. For all the work they're doing, $130 a week is trash, if you ask me. They're risking their lives with tigers. Like, that's just garbage to pay them. And furthermore, expired meat, like, ew. Why? Ew. That's gross. It just, like, it was some things I could not get behind. Actually, it was a lot of things I couldn't get behind on this, and I'm just not understanding why you do people who really need help that way. You know, they don't have a lot of options, so that's not the time for you to take advantage of them. That's the time for you to help them. You know, no, at no point did I feel like anybody truly had the best interest of the animals in mind. Like, I feel like everyone out there is just like, let's get money. Then you hear about cubs being killed, you know, tigers being killed once the cubs are too big to make them any money as far as going to events and stuff like that. Them being killed, them being snuck into hotel rooms so people could attract women and get them to have sex. What is it? Is it an orgy? If it's like 3, well, I think it's an orgy. It would be an orgy technically, because 2 of the people who go on there, Jeff, I think his name is Jeff and Lauren. They are swingers. Yes. So Jeff and Lauren Lowe are now the owners. But during that time, before Joe was put into prison and arrested and all that good stuff, he teamed up with Jeff because apparently he thought they had all this money. Later, come to find out they don't have all the money that they say they do. I guess, not to say they're broke or poor by any means, but they don't have quite as much money as they appear to have. So they're sneaking tigers up to hotel rooms because girls want to pet tigers, and that's basically how they got women up there to, you know, do activities. It just really kind of saddened me. You know, I'm like, nobody actually cares about the animals. It just appears. It more so seems like it's a money grab for everybody. And I feel like there's too many careers in the world where you can get plenty of money that doesn't include hurting animals. So I really just had no respect for anybody on this documentary, really, who was running any of these establishments. I just feel like it's gone beyond helping the cats or being there for the cat. It's just like, what can these cats give to me? What benefit can I get from them? Well, Joe Exotic will go shoot them. I heard Doc Ant will put tigers in a gas chamber and then cremate them in his on-site crematorium. It's crazy, and I felt so bad for those animals. So overall, with this documentary, do I think you should watch it? Yes, I think you should watch it. But it's slow. If you don't get through it, it's fine. I know people who are like, I tried to get through it and it was very boring. It's not anything that I think if you don't watch it, you're going to be super disappointed and miss out and just be heartbroken, or like your life will be fine if you don't watch it. This is not something that I feel like impacts your life in such a great way, that you have to watch it. But I do think it brings attention to how crazy it is out there when it comes to exotic animals and how they're treated, and the fact that a lot of times they're not being cared for in the right way. So it does make you want to advocate to, you know, just like stop all this holding them in general. If they're not injured and don't need help, like, they should not be held captive at all, and definitely not for the enjoyment of people at an expense of them being mistreated and starved and all that stuff. It just, yeah, no. But yeah, ultimately, can't watch it, it's okay. But if you can watch it, if you're just like, I got time, why not, then go ahead and watch it. But other than that, I wouldn't recommend you watch it. All right, thank you so much for watching this, and I hope to see you in my next review video. See ya.